What's up, Tube? Welcome back to Low Guido's Chop Shop, the second best Jaw Blaster channel on the tubes. And today on the bench here, I've got the Noveske N4 fully licensed Jaw Blaster version here from EMG. This one is one that I've got on loan, so it does have iron sights and a muzzle that is slightly different to the original, but other than that it's 100% stock. So I am going to take a look at it. Now it runs standard Gen 8 mag, which is good. I like these, they're cheap, they're easy, they work with just about everything, so no issues there. Very nice alloy receiver, alloy handguard, all with the licensed logos everywhere. You can see it's got the Noveske cross. Is it a cross? I guess it's a cross. On the pins, on the forward assist, in the handguard here. Both sides. I will get some zoomed in shots for you. The detail is quite nice. It's got ambi select. It's got ambi bolt release. It's got ambi charging handle, so it'll unlock from the left or the right side. And if you hold bolt open in a very APS style manner, it will lock back the bolt and you can release it from this side, or here, sorry, that's the mag release, here you can release it there as well. It does have the ambi mag release as well, so you can release the mag from either side, which is very cool. So ambi mag release, ambi bolt release, ambi select, and ambi charging. All the ambis. Lots of good stuff for those who are ambidextrous, or just if you're left-handed. Very handy. Let's get a closer look at some of these logos. They're pretty cool. You can see the EMG logo there on the grip, cross on the pins. You can see the engraving or embossing in the receiver, on the handguard there, if I can get that in focus. There we go, very nice. On the reverse side again, handguard. We got 7 to 8mm gel blaster marked on there as well, just in case you get confused and think that this is something other than an Orbi slinging toy. On top of the charging handle there as well. You can see it does have a silver alloy trigger, I believe that's alloy trigger, and right there on the front of the lower, the big cross. I think it's a cross, I'm calling it a cross. So far, my only gripe from just these few minutes of playing with it is this stock seems just a little loose. Like, I would have liked that to be a bit more solid there. But a nice little touch on the stock. This pin here is removable and you can access the back of the buffer tube there, which is where you would get your battery. It has some incredibly long battery wires for reasons I don't understand, with the mini Tamiya connector. So there's plenty of wire available for your battery. It doesn't have a battery. I'll have to dig around through my supplies and find a battery that will fit it, but it is always nice having the ability to get to the battery without having to completely remove the buffer tube. I mean, you can still do it that way, which could be easier for you, but I like the option, especially if you know, you need to quickly make some sort of adjustments in the field. I like that. I like the addition of that. All right. I guess the first thing we're going to do is get some Orbies into this and throw it down the Chrono. Check it, do a test on what it's like when it's fresh. And of course, what I'm talking about here when I say Orbies or gels, I am talking about these super absorbent polymer balls that they also are known as Orbies. They are a soft round ball that does squash on impact, so they're not harmful, they're biodegradable, they're quite friendly to all involved. There's a door in the back of the mag here. We just pour our gels into that. When it's full, slap that in. Now, I often, when I'm doing reviews these days, forget to include things like that because I kind of make the assumption I've been dealing with these blasters for years. There's still those of you out there who are kind of fresh and new to the scene, so you might not know how this all works. But that's where the gels go, up in there, and then we load that in. Now I'm going to have to get a battery in this because currently there's no battery. I'll be right back with a battery. Alright, so I've just hooked up the battery here, and the wiring length in here is just so excessive. I would probably shorten that if it was mine, because all you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up like folding this and trying to shove it down in there, and I don't know, it's just going to get messy. And so what I might do, just for the tests here, I will leave the back of this stock open like that, or maybe I'll just tuck this. Yeah, no, I'm not going to close the back of the stock for the test because it's. Or I could actually, yeah, I'll extend the stock a bit. There we go. Problem solved. There, extend the stock a bit. Plenty of room for the wires in there. Excessively long though. Excessive. Alright, let's take this to the Chrono. Okay, here we are at the Chrono. Whack it into semi. I haven't primed. I don't believe it has a mag prime. Nope, just a fairly dumb charging handle. Alright, so dumb as in not active. Alright, I'll just put a couple of fire a few blank rounds until we get primed. Alright, there we go. We're primed up now. Just ignore some of those first few readings. Let's go. Oh, that was an interesting one. So let's have a look at that. We've got a max of 327 and an average of 210, but we did have an anomaly or two there with like a really low 36 minimum. So I think that might have been a bad gel, which caused that low number, which brought the average down. So I'm just looking through the numbers. We're looking 260, 270, oops, 250, 280. There's oh yeah, those first ones. Actually, let's kill this and start it again, because I did have a few to prime. There was a few low ones to prime. We'll go again. Let's go again. That should give us better rounds of average. There we go, yeah, about 270 average. That's more what I'd expect. Get those priming shots out of there. Let's give this a bit of a full auto burst. Alright. Yeah, looking quite staunch there on the full auto as well. 280s, 290s, 300s. That's good. That's good. That's a good spot. Oh, that's where I like to be, actually. I reckon that's a good average. Alright, good numbers. Good numbers, good power, good fire rate. Although I am using an 11 volt battery, and I believe the recommended battery voltage is probably 7.4, not 11. But I pretty much run 11 in everything these days, so I feel like it should be able to handle an 11. Alright, let us take a closer look at what's inside this. So, first of all, let's pop these pins out and have a look at the upper. Okay, now that we've got the upper off of that, very, very nice, solid upper. The free float barrel is one of the most sturdy I've ever seen. Usually I would put some sort of bracing or something in here to support the outer barrel so that it doesn't wobble around. I don't generally let things free float in blasters, but that one's solid as. It doesn't look like it needs any support whatsoever. We've got a nice solid looking inner as well. The outer diameter is a full 9.6 millimeters, running a J9 style T-piece, although a nylon one, looking looking a bit more sturdy than the standard J9. It also looks like it's held in by grub screws, so to me that sort of says it might be easier to pull this out and replace it should you want to do that. An interesting feature is that it tapers down to about, I think, 9.1 mil at the end here. So it goes from 9.6 down to 9.1 with this weird taper at the end. I'm not quite sure what that's about, whether it's an issue with fitment or something into the muzzle, or either way, that's going to make fitting a hop-up to this particular barrel a bit of an interesting feat. Yeah, so maybe, yeah, I'm not sure what to do about that, but internal diameter is a 7.5, and the length of the barrel, let me get a tape measure for you. Looks like 28 centimeters to the T. Alright. Let us continue getting this thing apart. Get all the rest of this gear out of the way. Okay. One of the exciting things that I noticed when I was taking this down was that I apologize if I already mentioned this, but I have a feeling that it might have happened while my battery had died on my microphone. But this particular gearbox and receiver is one of the types that allows you to remove the spring and spring guide from the buffer tube without taking the whole thing down. Now, if I know what the exact size of hex key is to do that, 8's too big, 6 is too small, so I'm going with 1/4 inch. Alright, 1/4 inch seems to work. Okay, there we go. Sorry if that was off camera, it was a little bit awkward, but 1/4 inch, and there's spring guide, and there's the spring. Now the theory behind this is that you should be able to do it without taking the receiver apart even. However, the wiring in the tube does get in the way a bit, particularly of the spring, but with a bit of fiddling around you could certainly remove the spring retainer and the spring without even having to take anything apart other than removing the stock off of the buffer tube. Which is, it's a feature I like. It's a feature that's featured in the modifiers, but the modifiers make it a bit easier because the wiring runs down the bottom of this buffer tube. So, alright, now with that in mind, I don't believe I need to remove this buffer tube to get the gearbox out anymore, because the spring is already out, and that spring, I'd hazard a guess, is an M90, just from feel. Alright, well, let's get the motor out here. Alright, 2mm, yep. It's got one screw in the front there, which does make it easy to get out. Alright, pause the video right now. What are the odds that this has got like an APS motor in it. Okay, let's check. Alright, move the wires, and we have, oh, no markings. No markings. Okay. Well, I don't know, but looks like it's in pretty good nick, as it should be, because it's brand new. We got a D style with a grub screw on the pinion. Doesn't have neodymium magnets. Not very difficult to turn, so not much magnetic force, so probably not an incredibly high torque motor, but seemed to be doing alright for what it was on the Chrono test. I hate trying to spec motors from just guessing. Okay, we've got Phillips heads. Phillips heads holding the grip to the gearbox, which is great because we had a 2mm hex holding the base on, which means we've got to swap from hex to Phillips. I love it when standards change throughout the build. Alright, there we go. Grip off, EMG grip. It's a pretty nice looking grip. I do like the style of the top of this grip, how it's got this raised portion. It does probably help out with alignment. Alright, I'm going to knock this pin, take this screw out for the mag release. Do that one first. I'm probably going to have to remove the ambi selectors as well. Before I remove the pin. Alright, I may also have to remove the bolt release. Or maybe not. We'll see how we go. We'll go with the catch first. The selector. Remove the selector first. It's a 2mm hex. As always, be aware of your spring and your detent ball when you are taking this apart. Get my magnetic tray in. Remove the selector from the other side as well. Again, we have the same screw and detent ball. My detent ball just shot across the room. That was weird. Wasn't the one that I was taking out either. It was the one that I'd already put in the tray. So the balls are not magnetic. Interesting. Alright. Pop this pin here. Nice and easy to pop that on. Keep an eye on those balls when I throw screws into the tray, seeing as it appears like they like to shoot out. Now, here's the bit where the actual bolt catch might need to be removed if it does hang up on the bottom of the gearbox. It appears like it does, so I might have to get a very fine flathead driver in there. Take a look. Okay, there's a very fine flathead grub screw in here. I wonder if it goes all the way through. I hope it's one of those ones that's got like a pin built into it. Because if it is, that would be... yeah, there we go. That's what I was hoping for. Perfect. Makes it nice and easy. Now that should just slide straight out like that. Alright, now let's see. I think we should be just about good to go. We've got all the pins removed. The only thing that's going to be stopping us now is potentially the position of the selectors. Sometimes that can get in the way. So I might grab one of these selectors without the spring in the detent and just pop it into... Okay, so I had it in safe, so I think I might pop it into semi. That sometimes allows... Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I might actually go all the way around with that. Seems to really let the gearbox come free. There we go. Now I'll pull this really long cable. It's interesting what they've done here. They've got this cable, it feels like it should be terminated here. Feels like it should be terminated here, and then they've terminated it and then added an extra bit or something. Reasons I don't understand. Alright, got the amber gears out, and this one should just pass through. Usually you can just sort of pry one of them off. This one's coming. Just obviously got to be gentle with these. Try and put even amount of force to each side when you're prying them, because if you pry them from one side you can cock it over and snap the pin sometimes. This one seems like it's a reasonable construction, but I have seen some where the pin is like this really cast cheese sort of arrangement and it just will snap off so easy. Alright, down to business. Now this looks strikingly similar to an APS Silver Edge box. In fact, I would say that it is an APS Silver Edge box. Let me even compare an APS Silver Edge box for you. Alright, I have here an APS Silver Edge box. Now, it's got the same bolt type arrangement. It's got the same mag terminal plate and the same nozzle, albeit this one's tucked back because of the position it's currently in. The one I just got out of the box has got bearings and this one's got bushings, which I do prefer. And this one seems to have a shinier surface. The bolt release mechanism looks the same, albeit with this one having an additional notch for the ambi, I suppose that's for. The spring retainer on the back's the same. This has got a more shiny appearance. I again, this is just an opinion. This is interesting. The one that I have doesn't have the little ambi hole drilled or machined in there. I want to say this looks like a higher quality cast of the APS box. This one's got this dull sort of finish. I'd say they're out of the same mold, but this one looks like it's cast with something with a bit more zinc in it, maybe, or something. It's a bit shinier. Just making assumptions, though. I mean, looks like it is basically a silver edge, although with upgraded bushes and perhaps better internals. We'll see when we open it up. Let's do that now. I'm almost convinced that this little slot for the ambi has been milled in after the fact. It doesn't look like it's cast. Okay, there's the little faux bolt spring. It's looking a little bit used. Alright, I'll take this bolt release off as well. Do I need to do that? I'm taking it off anyway. It's just going to get in my way otherwise. Tiny little spring there. Alright. I'm just going to get all these screws out and then I'll come back. Alright, let's take this box apart. The top half off. Looks nice and shiny. There's definitely a little bit of machining work that goes on aftermarket here, particularly here. You can see this little bit here, little recess for the tappet plate, which is a Gel Blaster specific mod. It's got some shims sitting in there, which means someone took the care to put shims in. Looks like a sort of generic sintered gear set. Let's get this cylinder out of here. Alright. It's got one of those cylinder heads that's doesn't have a flange, so it can just sort of go all the way in. So I'll just hold the end of it there. Oh, that's got a nice compression. Nice compression. It's got a good looking piston. Nice aluminium head. Looks like metal rack gears. Good compression. Let me try that with the nozzle on as well. Oh yeah. Still a nice good compression, even if this is hard to do, but I bring the nozzle out a bit. Oh, it's still got a nice compression. Very nice. Yeah, that cylinder head and O-ring is quite nice. Quite nice, good compression on it. I like it. No need to upgrade anything there. Tappet plate, and it's got the sector delay chip, which APS like to use for their reasons. It works for them, so alright. Looks pretty nice. There's not a whole lot for me to do here in terms of upgrades. However, I am going to put a MOSFET into this, so I'm not going to do that in this video. I will do a separate video for that. But yeah, there it is. Alright, well, I reckon that's pretty good. It's a good bit of gear. There's a few improvements that could be made. I'm not 100% on that gearbox. It looks like a better version of the APS Silver Edge. It looks like a slightly higher quality Silver Edge. Hopefully it is better than the Ground Roots Silver Edge, because I know that they can have problems if you juice them up a little bit too much with the cast box having issues. I have actually radiused this off camera just to try and mitigate those issues. But other than that, looks like a really fine blaster. The quality of the receiver and everything is almost on par with Modify. That's how good it is. Yeah, and I think for the price, it's a pretty reasonable blaster. If you're into the Noveske brand, you might be into this, because it's certainly, they're not shy with stamping that all over the blaster. Alright, well that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, you can hit up my face page, buy a patch from me, or if you like what I'm doing, want to support, you can buy me a coffee in the Buy Me a Coffee link below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. If you've made it this far through the video, then you're pretty hardcore, and I'll let you know that I think I'm very close to 22,000 subscribers, and it's been a minute since I've had a giveaway, so I'm keen to give something away. So subscribers only. If you're keen for a giveaway, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and then you will find out the details for that in the future. Shout outs to all the people who do support my channel. Adam Hoy, thanks for buying me a coffee, and peace. Catch you next time.